Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Josh.
And I'm Chris.
And with our powers combined, we are Garner Brothers Movie Lovers. Today, we're talking Top Gun Maverick. Now he's testing new planes that are crazy, going Mach 10 and, still being Maverick and breaking the rules. Even though his boss is like, dang it, Maverick! You're fired! But you have to make this movie, so now you have to go back to Top Gun.
The film is directed by Joseph Kosinski. Stars Tom Cruise, obviously, and Jennifer Connelly, and Miles Teller. And Val Kilmer is back for one quite impressive scene. John Hamm, Charles Parnell, Monica Barbaro, several others. We should probably say at the outset that Josh and I are not... We have no nostalgia for the original Top Gun. Were you even born in 86?
Nope, I was not even born.
I don't remember when it hit theaters, but I remember it being a thing when I was a very young child because I had a cousin who loved it. And I remember our mom hated it, and she would not allow us to see it. So I actually never saw the original Top Gun until a month ago. So, with no nostalgia glasses, both of us can tell you, we don't really like the original Top Gun. Let the hate flow through you into the comments section. Tell us how bad we are.
Strike us down with your comments, and your turn to the dark side will be complete.
Yeah, the original Top Gun. Oh, there's so much cheese. There's so much.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I know people love that movie, but I'm kind of glad that the days where you play the same song 4 times in one movie are over. And they don't do that with just one song in the original Top Gun. They do that with 2 different songs. They play them each 4 times. They don't do that this time, thank goodness. So when this movie started, there were some things about it. So had to get that out of the way. I will say that fans of the original Top Gun are going to be very happy with this movie. Mm-hmm. There are a ton of throwbacks to Top Gun, lots of homages. This team clearly loves the original Top Gun, and there's a lot of throwback to that. At the beginning of this film, with the montage on the aircraft carrier and Highway to the Danger Zone playing, and then the scene with all the pilots in the bar, there were so many original Top Gun vibes. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. But I just think the movie gets better and better as you go along. And all of that, fans of the original are going to love all of that. Probably. Super cocky pilots all being cocky at each other. Doesn't do anything for me, but fans of the original
flowing, even in the female characters somehow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that.
I do have to say, even though I don't particularly love Top Gun, this movie couldn't be what it is without what was good about the original Top Gun movie with Goose and Maverick and... it was really able to utilize that to bring out the best of the original movie. Anyway.
Same with his relationship with Iceman.
Oh, yeah.
See, for someone who has no emotional connection to the original film, the interactions between Tom Cruise and Miles Teller, who plays Goose's son, was genuinely good. Like, really
Very good.
And the scene... There is a scene between Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, which is really good. So, especially knowing what Val Kilmer's been through recently and all of his health challenges and his inability to speak.
I mean, we might never see Val Kilmer on the screen again.
This may be the last time.
And it was done very well.
It was. I heard that they had to digitally recreate his voice using recordings of past things that he's said. Somehow they were able to give him a voice again in this film, which is really awesome. So that was cool. Very cool scene. And I will say, I really liked this movie.
It is so good. It's ridiculous.
You will never see flying like this. Like, you've never seen flying like this. The boot camp that Tom Cruise made all the actors go through so that they could actually be in the cockpits for these scenes. The interactions, their faces when they're pulling all these G's, like, everything is shot practically. It looks amazing. Incredible footage of jets and pilots in jets. It is really, really impressive what they've done as far as cinematographically. Is that a word?
It is now. Man, Tom Cruise.
The dude is clearly an actual vampire.
I mean,
he is immortal.
The dedication into his craft and stuff, my gosh. That dude, nobody loves making movies more than Tom Cruise. That guy, you could tell. Like, at the beginning, he has his little speech to the audience where he's just like, I did this for you. I love you guys, okay?
It must have been hard for him and the cast to sit on this movie for 2 years.
Gosh.
They were actually on the interview circuit promoting this film when COVID shut everything down. This movie's been ready to go for 2 years.
I'm so glad they waited. You can't see... I mean, you can see this on your phone if you want.
You could see it on another screen, but really...
don't!
Yeah, you really ought to see it on as big a screen as you can. If you can see it in IMAX... it would probably be worth doing. I mean, they went to great expense to actually get IMAX cameras small enough to actually fit in the cockpit of an F-18 for this movie. So seeing it in that format would be really rewarding. The footage is just incredible.
The stakes are very high. They're very good at helping simple-minded people like us understand the fine details to the complexities of their mission and what it all means. And it goes places. I had in my mind what I thought was going to happen, and it did basically exactly what I thought was going to happen. And I thought, I'm happy. This is good. I'm happy with this. This is fine. And then
it didn't do what you thought.
It went completely 180 on me. Blew my mind, and I completely fell head over heels for this movie in that moment. And
the finale is genuinely
good
great.
Heavens.
It's really, really good. The final third of this movie is awesome. Tell me all about it in the comments, but this movie is way better than the original Top Gun, in my opinion. Way better. Part of the reason is, in the original Top Gun, the entire film is about interpersonal relationships. And then at the end, suddenly there's this fight between these MiGs and of this unnamed nation, and it kind of comes out of nowhere, and it kind of has nothing to do with what's been going on before. They work in a lot of the interpersonal relationships have been, building in the film, and it all the finale kind of brings all that together still. But the difference is with this film, they have a mission to do, again, against an unnamed nation, I think as kind of a, homage to the original film. But they have this mission, and you know what it is from the beginning of the film, and it's a tough one. And that's what they're training for, and that's what everything builds to. And the build-up is genuinely gripping. It's really good. Especially the moments leading up to the actual mission. There was a palpable feeling of build-up, and I think a great deal of that is owed to Hans Zimmer, who scored the film, along with Harold Faltermeyer, who was the composer of the original Top Gun.
Yes, Hans Zimmer, the official soundtrack artist of Gardner Brothers Movie Lovers.
He is?
Does our intro and our outro.
That's Hans Zimmer?
Yes.
What?
He did it for us.
He composed that just for our channel. So...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
I did mean to interrupt you, but continue, please.
So, having Faltermeyer come back and be on this film score is a really nice throwback to the original. And they use the same main theme from the original and a lot of the same, sounds like it's performed on all the same synthesizers and everything. Like it is, it's good to have that kind of sound back. Even though I'm not nostalgic for that movie, it was like cool to hear Faltermeyer doing his thing again. Hans Zimmer's contribution, to me, really shines in the finale of the film. With the build-up kind of starting on the aircraft carrier through the actual mission itself, it's awesome. A lot of the time, the finale of a film is just repetitive drum loop action music type stuff, and that's not how this one sounded. There were several moments where the music just really shined, and I thought they really nailed it. And Zimmer is from that same era, right? I mean, he was scoring Backdraft. He really pioneered the power anthem sound that a lot of people would use. He doesn't have a power anthem here. They've already got the original Top Gun theme, but Zimmer's music is really perfectly fitted to the world of the original Top Gun, at least, soundtrack-wise. It sounds like it fits in with that world, but it also brings it into a modern era. I thought he walked a tightrope really well with this score. And it really elevated the finale multiple times, I thought.
Speaking of tightrope, this movie does a really good job of staying on the fine line between paying respects to the original Top Gun without being too cheese.
It does, yeah. I think this movie's going to make fans of the original really happy, but you don't have to be a fan of the original film or even really have seen it.
It's true.
To enjoy this film a lot. This is a very good movie.
It's time for Good, Fine, Bad.
Good, fine, bad.
Yeah, that was a load of poop.
This movie is better than good.
This is good, great, fantastic fireworks for sure.
Yeah.
Cue the cheering children. Oh my gosh. This movie's awesome.
It's very good. Easily the best film I've seen this year.
Oh yeah.
By a lot. As far as big tentpole blockbuster type movies, I haven't enjoyed one as much as this since Endgame, probably.
Me too.
This movie managed to do it with just one movie and not an entire cinematic universe. Really good movie. You should see it. You should see it in theaters on a really big screen.
Do it. Do it now. Before we jump into spoilers, like the video. Comment and tell us why we're so stupid for not liking the original Top Gun movie. And that's all. So thanks for watching, everyone who doesn't want to be spoiled. Now go away.
I don't have a whole lot to say.
I do want to just say more specifically. I already talked about it really vaguely, but in my mind I was like, there's when he talks with Val Kilmer in this scene, he's talking about Miles Teller and he's like, look, I can't win here. If I let him go, he could very likely die because this mission is so dangerous. If I don't let him go, he'll hate me forever. And I could lose him either way. And from that moment, at least in my mind, Tom Cruise was going to sacrifice himself to save him. And that moment happens, and it's glorious and crazy, and I thought that was good.
Yep.
And then he wakes up on the snow, and I was like, what
are they going to do?
In the world is happening? Because they already did it. It was good. Then the helicopter starts, hovering and firing at him, and I was like, this is madness. And then Miles Teller comes sweeping in. Rooster comes in and just blows up the helicopter and gets shot down, and then they're both behind enemy lines together.
And that scene where they first reunite
is
gold. Yeah. Loved it.
It is so good.
Loved it. Miles Teller does a good job in this movie.
He does.
I probably should have said that in the non-spoiler section, but Miles Teller is a good cast. Not just because he's a good actor. He is dead ringer for Goose. Like, he looks so much like him.
I mean, we talked about how their relationship worked so well, and, that's as much credit to Miles Teller as it is to Tom Cruise.
Yep.
And the writers. And the way they escape getting the old airplanes that they tell you are there beforehand. They gave them the tools that they needed at the beginning of the movie and explained exactly what was going on. And the sole surviving plane at this place was one of these old beater piece of garbage airplanes
F-14.
from the original Top Gun.
Yeah.
And he hops in that plane with Rooster in the back, just like a goose was, and they freaking dogfight with the spaceships from Star Wars.
Jets. Yeah, this rogue nation somehow has nuclear program and better jets than the U.S. and
Yeah, you do kind of have to think about the fact that, like, we're declaring war on some country by doing this, and probably starting World War III. Like, it is
yeah, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Though. That's a great scene.
so good. The way he takes out the first one by first strafing it and then using it to block the missile from the other one.
Yeah.
Good heavens!
Yeah.
The action in the air, it doesn't get better, and
No.
it's so clear what's happening.
Yeah, it is.
And it is
Yeah, it's
epic.
It's very well shot and edited very well. There is one scene that gives you a really wide angle with all the dogfighting and the surface-to-air missiles going off and all the jets scrambling, and the soundtrack at that point was such that I thought they're all gonna die. Like, I'm watching that one scene, that moment, you're like, holy cow,
it
how's
really
anybody
feels-
gonna get out of this?
tension
Man,
is-
the whole finale is just so good. So good.
Yeah, we're basically just saying the same thing over and over again at this
Yeah,
point.
we're done.
But we do highly recommend seeing this movie in theaters. So get out there and go see it. And in case we don't see you, good
afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good, better, best. Wait, that's not it.
Good, fine,
Good,
bad.
fine, bad.
Good, better, bad. Got a little Dallin jokes squeaking into the movie.